What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to another video, and this is going to be the first video where we're going to go out on the strip and get in on the action here in Vegas. We've got a lot of videos coming up for the next few days, and if you haven't followed me on Instagram yet, I'm posting live current updates of what I'm doing on my Instagram story pretty much every single day. So give me a follow there if you haven't already. And yeah, today we're going to play at the Aria 2-5, and it gets pretty swingy right off the bat, so hopefully you guys enjoy this one. And yeah, let's go in for a swingy ride at the Aria. We hop into the 2-5 Aria game with a 1K buy-in, and the first hand, first orbit in, we have Queen 10 offsuit on the small blind. The button opens it up to $15, and I've got a playable hand. It's easy to just make the call here, but let's just apply some pressure early on in his button opening range. So I decided to 3-bet to $60. Big blind folds, and the button thinks about it and defends his button. He makes the call for 60, and we're off to a flop. Flop comes 10-8-4 to spades. Pretty good flop here with top pair. If we're 3-betting Queen 10 off, this is what we're looking for. So I size up to $75 and c-bet this for value, but unfortunately he folds, so we're just going to take this down first hand of the day. Next, we've got Ace 10 off in +1 playing 7-handed. I open things up to $20, action folds around to the small blind, and he makes the call, so we're going heads up in position. Flop comes Ace Jack 10 Rainbow, and now in this $40 pot, he does something interesting and just leads out for $100. Looking at his stack, he's only got $106 behind, and I think it's a really weird spot to be in, and I'm not entirely sure what to do. I think our hand is just way too strong to fold, but if he did flop the straight and the Broadway, so be it. We're just gonna have to stack off in this spot, so I announce an all-in of $206 total, and obviously he's never really folding once he puts $100 out there. He makes the call for 106 more, and let's go to a run out. The turn is a queen, not a good one, and the river does not improve us. He shows us ace king and takes down the pots. Unfortunate to lose this one here and get sucked out on. Really didn't put ace king in his range in flatting the turn, but he committed himself to it, and yeah, we're gonna double him up. In this next hand, we pick up ace queen off in the hijack, and I'm gonna open this up to $20. Some backstory, this is actually the third time in a row that I'm opening and raising preflop, so now action folds to the small blind, who 3-bets to a whopping sizing of $40. Folds to me, and facing a min click back here, I just really don't know what to do. Sometimes I'm just leveling myself here where I think that he thinks that I'm raising too wide. Ace queen off, given that circumstances, is a pretty premium hand and we're in position. So he's got less than $300 in his stack, and I'm really not sure how to play this. But in the moment here, I decided to put in a 4-bet to $130. He insta rips it all in for $290 total, and this is a terrible spot. It's only $160 more, and I did tell myself if we were to face a 5-bet jam, I was gonna fold, but given the price, given the action, I think let's just make the call and hope we're flipping. So we go from there. I call, and he shows us pocket aces. Yeah, we're pretty much dead here. Going to a run out, which does flop us pretty much dead. And we double up another player once again, adding on for more now. This next spot, picking up ace king of spades under the gun, I open things up to $20. I'm really hoping someone will 3-bet me given my very aggro style so far, but we get the +1 and hijack to make the call. Let's go to a flop, which comes king, queen, queen to clubs here with top. Pretty good flop for us. I c-bet $40, but unfortunately both players quickly fold. I guess we're winning the small pots, I guess. Following hand with queen jack of spades on the button, the hijack opens it up to $20. The cutoff makes the call, and now facing this action, we're gonna size up for sure, and we're gonna 3-bet this hand to $80. Both players once again fold pre-flop, so we take down $45 pre. And yeah, we can't lose every single hand, and I do have to show some winning ones. All right, we've shown you 2 winners. This time we pick up 4-5 of hearts in the hijack. There's an under the gun player who open limps, +1 next to act, raises it up to $25. Here, I decided to make the call for 25, although I do love 3-betting this, but at the time I thought the +1 player was shallow, but he actually has 1K in his stack. Our mistake of not 3-betting preflop allows the cutoff, big blind, and under the gun player to call. So now we're going 5 ways to a flop. Flop comes 9-7-6 rainbow. Well, Okay flop for us, but realistically 5 ways, it's nothing that we can do about this. I'm thinking if we were to 3-bet pre-flop, it's a good spot to barrel, but now we're kind of forced to play this hand standardly. Action checks the on-the-gun player who c-bets $50. Here, open-ended, not a great open-ended as any 8 puts a 4-liner on the board, but I do make the call for 50 as I don't think this +1 range should hit this board too often, and the cutoff player to my left makes the call as well. So 3 ways to a turn, which comes the ace of spades. Now, surprisingly, the on-the-gun +1 player actually checks to me. Here, this ace doesn't change much, and once again, just going to play it standardly, hope to see a free river. I check, and the cutoff checks back. The river now comes a 7 of clubs, and now, interestingly enough, +1 throws out another bet of $75. Here, given this action and what's have been played out so far, it really seems like a blocker or value bet, maybe some sort of ace-x holding, but here, let's just try to punish this, as my calling range here should hit this board more than him, and pretty much I just have a much more uncapped range as opposed to his usual 1-pair holdings given this board texture. So I put in the raise with 5 high. We're not going to win by calling or folding. We raise it up to $325. When I put in this raise, now the cutoff actually tanks for a while, and I'm a little scared because we might have just punted off 325, but after a little bit, the cutoff folds, and now we're just expecting the +1 player to fold as well. And after thinking for not too long, he announces all in, and yeah, that's a punt. It's a pretty large sizing, and the sizing really doesn't matter because we're not calling an all in with 5 freaking high. We're forced to fold this one, and this one was quite the punt. Okay, next one we go. We've got Queen 9 of diamonds under the gun. We're playing 6-handed, and I open up my under the gun range here. I mean, we've been playing a super wide range, so why not do it this time? I open at $20, and we get the +1 and button to call. 3 ways to a flop, which comes King Jack 10 2 diamonds. Not only did we flop the second nut in terms of the straight, but we also flopped a straight flush draw along with it. So now here I'm out of position facing 2 other players. I decided to size up to $50 on this very wet board, trying to get as much money as possible, and good thing happens as both players make the call. Hopefully my splashy image may pay me off this time. The turn comes a deuce. It is the brickest brick of them all. I size down as both players are fairly short stacked, and I'm trying to build a pot here. I throw out a bet of $80. +1 player thinks for a while, and after going over his options, he has some amazing news for us as he rips it all in for $300 total. The big blind folds, and obviously we're just going to snap this bet off here and make the call. The river is an ace. I show my straights, and he has Jack 10. So we finally win a decent sized pot here and have one go our way. Hopefully we can build the momentum. The next hand we go, after winning that last one, we have Ace King offsuit in the small blind. There's a +1 player who limps for $5. The cutoff raises to $30, and this is the same player that I tried to bluff the hand before. The button calls 30, and now we're out of position. We're gonna size our 3-bet up to 5x to $150. We usually start with 4x out of position plus another caller of the 30, so that's how I got to this 5x number. Well, action folds around to the cutoff player who makes the call. He covers our stack, and we have about $1,600 to start this hand, so we're going to be trying to play a big one with this hand in the small blind. Heads up to a flop, which comes Queen 9-9 Rainbow. Not loving this, but it is a static flop, and I don't really see too many 9x's in his range. So I put in a c-bet here with Ace King high. Sometimes I can be good. Sometimes I can fold out smaller pocket pairs. I c-bet to a sizing of 110, trying to fold out his airs, but I do expecting his pocket 8s through jacks to call. And here in this instance, he does make the call for 110. Let's go to a turn, which comes a 4. Total Brick City card, and I think at this point we know that we really can't win by checking, so probably can't slow down here, but I decided to fire again, hoping to apply more pressure to his holdings. I size up to $275. So when I make out this bet, I have this plan in my head to just shut down if he calls this turn bet and I don't improve on the river. Well, unfortunately, while he's thinking it over, he does make the call, so I'm probably up against a hand like near top of range, near like ace queen, sometimes pocket kings, maybe at the very weakest of his range would be pocket 10s, but let's see a river. The river's the 5, another absolute brick, and as I did plan on shutting down on the turn, somehow I started talking myself out of this plan. He covers us, and from what I thought on the turn, his best holding is probably ace-queen at the very strongest. And if I were to apply maximum pressure here, it seems like there's a high frequency that he can fold given how deep we are. So I think about it, and with about $1,000 behind, let's just go for it. We rip it all in for about a pot-sized jam, and now he goes well into the tank. And while he's tanking, I couldn't be more nervous because first session into Vegas, we've got 1,000 in the middle, we've got 1,000 in our all-in button, and we've got ace-king high. If he calls, we are very quickly deep into the red here, but if he finds a fold, then we win a big one. And after a few long minutes of tanking, he folds, presses that fold button, and we scoop up this big one with the bluff and are unstuck for the session somehow. No idea what he could have had, but I'm really just glad that he found that fold button. Hand after that monster one, we pick up ace-8 of diamonds in the small blind. Middle position player limps, and the cutoff, the player from last hand, he raised it up to $25. Here in the small blind, I'm just going to flat this one. It's a playable ace, and the limper, as expected, will call. Three ways to a flop, which comes jack-8-4 rainbow with 1 diamond. Action checks to the cutoff player, who c-bets $35. For this price, with middle pair, top kicker, some backdoor diamond draws, I call for 35, and the middle position player calls as well. Let's go to a turn, which comes the ace of spades. Perfect card. Sometimes we're up against ace-jack, which isn't great, but once again, action's going to check to the cutoff, and he bets out again for $100. Now we have a decision to either play this hand a little bit standardly and raise this one, or potentially slow play and be on the cautious side since we are out of position in the small blind. Sometimes I think we are kind of value owning ourselves against ace-jack here, but that's really the only hand that we're afraid of, and we can certainly get a lot of value from hands like 10-9 or ace-x with 1 pair. So I chose the standard route this time and put in the check raise to $300. The middle position player folds and gets out of the way. The cutoff thinks for a while and actually ends up on a call, so puts in $200 more, and we're hoping to see a brick on the river. The river is another 4, so this is actually pretty decent and a really good card, as most ace-x's, especially ace-king or ace-queen, will call a bet. Also eliminates some combos of sets that he can have, like pocket 4s, so there's that. Trying to come up with a sizing for value, I opted on a sizing of $250. Pretty small considering the size of the pot, but he thinks about it for a little bit and ultimately ends up on a fold, sadly. I'm not really sure what holding he could have to fold for such a small amount. If he folded ace-x, then that's pretty impressive, but yeah, we're still going to win a pretty big pot and we're chipping up. Last hand to go over in this session, we have king-queen off on the button. There's a hijack open to 20, and I think here sometimes we can 3-bet, but standardly, we're just going to make the call here considering it's offsuit and in position. I call, and we're going heads up to a flop. Flop comes ace-king-6 rainbow. He c-bets $15, and on this board, it feel like it's purely for thin value. I think sometimes he can have ace-king, sometimes he can have pocket jacks, pocket 10s. Not entirely sure, but for small sizing like $15, let's just call and see a turn. The turn comes the ace of diamonds. Now it's very much less likely that he has an ace, but he bets again for $35. Another rather small sizing that seems like it's definitely for value, so we definitely have the best kicker for king X right now with king queen. I can't fold to this sizing just yet. I call once again. Let's go to a river, which is a 10. He thinks for a little bit and leads out for a third time and sizes up to a polarizing amount to $175. Facing a pretty big overbet here, and it seems like a max value play with either ace-king or maybe even like a set of 10s. I really don't need to level myself into a call here, as big river bets are usually strong, so I decided to just let this one go and make the fold. We don't know what this player ended up having, but it seemed like a nutted hand for max value, as opposed to a bet designed to make a fold. All right, we're out. We're out of the session. Somehow we survived it. I have no idea how we survived this session, but we only played for a little bit, about like 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours. But yeah, the beginning, super rough. But I just had to come out here and just appreciate it's just beautiful. I don't understand how the Aria and whatever building that is just looks so great in the blue sky. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the, I guess, first or second video of this Vegas trip. A lot more to come. We're gonna be here for 10 days and strictly here for content. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'm definitely gonna try to pump out as many videos in Vegas as possible, play as many sessions as possible. So and try to make some good content for you guys. So we'll see. Today, beginning was rough. We did not have to torch the 300 bucks with the ace queen hand. I did actually like my 5 high bluff. Felt like a spot where he was going for thin value with 1 pair, and we got owned. I don't know, maybe he had a boat. I don't know how he played this hand. I just felt like sets don't really bet that turn, or if sets don't really check that turn, and if they boat up, I don't know. It seems super improbable. But anyways, I felt that was fine. But we're in the game for 1900, out for $24.99, so good profit, about $600. Yeah, more to come, man. So be on the lookout for more videos. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.